Hello and welcome back to A Sharper Life. I am your host, Nikki Sharp, a two-time best-selling author, wellness expert, and your personal transformation coach. Now, today I am excited to share with you Dr. Nayan Patel. He is a renowned pharmacist, wellness expert, and the author of the Glutathione Revolution: Fight Disease, Slow Aging, and Increase Energy. For over 2 decades, he has been the go-to pharmacist for celebrities, CEOs, and physicians, developing customized medication and wellness plans. He's known globally as the leading expert on glutathione, which is the master antioxidant. And Dr. Patel holds the only patent for transdermal glutathione, and he is incredibly passionate about educating people on how to slow aging, how to boost your energy, and how to promote health from the inside out. Now, today's episode is very enlightening, even for me, someone who knows an incredible amount about nutrition and wellness supplements. And what we discuss is the power and role of glutathione in your life and why this one supplement should be the thing that you add in today. We talk about oxidative stress and how that is negatively impacting your life, how to reverse many different challenges and problems within the body. This is an absolutely fascinating and enlightening conversation. And without further ado, please welcome Dr. Nayan Patel on A Sharper Life. Nayan, welcome to A Sharper Life. I'm very excited to jump straight in, and I would love to know what has been your background to get you so interested in glutathione, which we're going to talk a lot
Well, my background is I'm a pharmacist, and not just a pharmacist. I wish I was just a pharmacist. It'll be much easier. The less you know, the happier you are. The more you know, it's oh my God, now I'm going to change the world now. So I turned myself into more like a holistic or compounding pharmacist, where we do customized medications, and that's when this thing led to me is to see that, hey, as a pharmacist, I was not helping actually heal the world. I was just managing people's problems. And so I said, I need to get out of this rat race and try to figure out a different solution for my patients in the beginning. So there's my journey to glutathione.
Amazing. And so as a pharmacist, I mean, I'm sure everyone listening, like we all kind of understand that when you go to a doctor, you have something wrong. Typically, we're prescribed a pill, whatever it might be. And there's a lot of, I guess, controversy within, especially right now, because of Make America Healthy Again, going against, just there's so many different kind of aspects of that. I would love to know more when it comes to everything you're doing. And then, as you said, it's like the more you know, kind of the harder it becomes. What have you seen that's wrong within the pharmaceutical industry?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. All right, I'll try to define a little bit, see if I can give my perspective to it. The way the healthcare system is set up, for anything to get approval through the government to be used on humans as a medicine, it has to show effect on a particular condition. And so if you have a medicine that can show one benefit, it gets approved for that particular reason, right? If you want to use it for something else, it's called off-label use, and you can still use it, but the FDA is only approved for that particular reason. And the diseases are not based on one thing. And the diseases are highly complex. And when we have a disease that is highly complex and we're looking for one thing that's going to solve the problem, it is never, ever, ever going to work. I'll give you one example. Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is 100 things have to go wrong before you completely lose your memory. And we want to use one drug that will solve all your problems. it is just not humanly possible to have one medication change thousands of different reactions in your body to make that impact to get rid of a disease like Alzheimer's, which is multifactorial problem. And so my thing is that the system is set up for failure, right? If the system is set up for failure, with the best intentions of the world, we are not going to find a solution because we have to find one thing that's going to show an outcome that's going to have a positive impact on a disease like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or ALS or cancer for that matters, right? And so I know it's just again this question is a little bit difficult because I hate to say something that is out of my wheelhouse because I do not know all the intricacies that goes behind the government's behind the scenes kind of a deal. But from an outsider as a pharmacist, I see that we don't have access to a lot of life-saving products, chemicals, because FDA has not gone around to use as an approval for one particular condition.
And yeah, that makes sense. And where I was going with that question is just you clearly know so much about the healthcare industry, being a pharmacist, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. We know that, as you said, certain drugs and pharmaceutical pills are getting approved. Other ones maybe, yeah, as you mentioned, off label. And we know, I think that there's not one person that doesn't think there's something wrong with Western medicine. At the same time, I do believe that there is a time and a place, right, for both, for Eastern medicine and really looking at the root cause. And then I do believe that there are things that we have learned within Western medicine, such as glutathione. So I would be interested to know, how did you, I guess, quote unquote, stumble upon glutathione, and why do you believe it is such an effective methodology or supplement to use, and what do we use it for?
Okay, so that I do know the answer for that one. So that's going to be, it's a good answer, but it's going to be a long answer. So let me just go over that with that. Yeah.
Great, let's go.
So, when I first graduated from pharmacy school, this was about 27, 28 years ago. And as a new kid that just learned all the new tricks, right? You come in the world and say, oh my God, I know so much about medicine now. I'm going to go and heal the world. And quickly you come to the real world and you figure out that, oh my God, all the medications that we have are actually, we are just managing people's problems. We're not solving anything. If we solve a problem, the patient gets better, they don't come back for the next month for medicine, and I'm out of business. And so the whole system is set up in such a way that only thing we are doing is we're just maintaining your problems. We're not getting rid of it. And so very quickly you realize that, oh my God, my whole earth has been shattered now. I said, here I was trying to see if I can do the right thing for my patients, but on the flip side, the medicines that's available to me is actually not solving any problems. So what do you do now? Right? Do you go to the, say, you know what, forget this, I'm going to go straight to vitamins. No, you can't just do that either, because that's not solutions over there either. And so I was going with the motions. I was looking for a sign that, hey, something needs to come to me so that I can start working on it. And sure enough, about 3 years later, I had a doctor in California that came to me and said that, hey, you know what, I have this technology, which is liposome technology. Back in the late 90s, there was nobody using this technology to make vitamins out of it, right? And it says, can you use this technology? I'm using it to make pharmaceutical drugs, but I want you to use the same technology to make me some vitamins. And I want you to make some vitamin C, some glutathione, some CoQ10, PQQ, astaxanthin, things like that. And I look at it, I said, okay. I said, that seems like an interesting project for me. And I says, why would you do that? I said, well, because vitamins by nature are just food supplements. They're not here to solve any problems, but the potential of a food supplement is that we are empowering our body to actually take control and defend itself or heal itself, right? Our body is fiercely made that it can solve all its own problems. I said, okay, if that's the case, then why am I dealing with some mediocre chemicals like vitamin C? Because the human body doesn't even produce vitamin C. But you know what? I'm a young kid. I do not know much. I said, okay, I'll go with the motion. And so we started working with this technology, and and I got intrigued by glutathione the most because that was the only ingredient that was produced in human body in the most abundant form. And I quickly started learning that, oh my God, glutathione is the most abundant molecule produced in the human body. It has been known for over 140 plus years, and nobody has ever figured out how to improve intracellular levels. I said, so just by giving a product, but it doesn't go where it's supposed to go, it doesn't do any justice. It's, for example, like if you want to, well, nowadays it's a whole different story, but let's say if you want to buy a purse, you can only buy a purse with cash. If that's the case, then do you have the money in your wallet or not? And if you don't have the money in the wallet, you cannot buy a purse. What good is the money stuck in some mutual funds or some bond that you have no access to it, right? Even though it's your money, you have no access to it. And so I wanted to make sure that the glutathione actually gets into where it's supposed to belong, so then the body can use it up, because without being there, the body has no access to it. And so I started to get myself intrigued into more of a delivery system than the product itself. And so that was my first early on. This was back in 2001 is when I first started my journey towards, I got to figure these things out. So
I love it. So
anyways,
let
you're here today after a long time.
what I'd like to know on that, and for someone listening, you mentioned quite a few different supplements and vitamins. There are so many different things on the market, and we are told like CoQ10 have that, glutathione, right? We know it's zinc, magnesium, vitamin C. Now we need to have vitamin D. We're not getting enough sun, and there's so much almost contradictory advice as well, such as go outside, don't wear sunscreen in the morning, but then if you don't wear sunscreen, you'll get skin cancer. And what I'm seeing is that people are really starting to understand we have to take our health into our own hands. The government is not here to save us. I think we can all kind of agree on that now. What is it about glutathione specifically, though? Because you're the first pharmacist or doctor that I've spoken to where you're like, this is the thing. So tell me more about actual glutathione within the body and what it does and why it's the best.
All right, that's fairly easy if you just know what I know, which is in human body, the number one molecule produced in humans as a peptide is glutathione. And why would body produce so much glutathione? It's like like air is full of oxygen. What if there was no oxygen in the air left? You'll suffocate and die, right? What if there was no glutathione in your body? You literally will die. Is that critical to human body, right? And so when the body produces so much, our job is to not to figure out how I can enhance it. How can I keep on telling the brain to keep on producing more, producing more, producing more, but to figure out why it's doing it, what are the functions of glutathione, and is there a way we can support, right? Support the increase of the levels when we need the most. And so in a simpler form, glutathione is a tripeptide. It comes three amino acids coming together, and the body combines those three amino acids together to make into this building block that has numerous benefits of it. So most building blocks are like bricks that you need for the house. You just lay it out. It has no function by itself other than to just be a barrier, right? And you just lay a whole bunch of bricks and you build a house. Versus some building blocks have functions where they either give you electricity or they give you air or give you energy or whatever that is, right, for your house. Versus glutathione is a lot more than just a building block, right? one of the core functions of glutathione is that it's an antioxidant. So what it means is that it basically quenches all the free radicals that your body either produces endogenously inside your body, like from chemical reactions happening, or you get it from exogenously, which is from outside the environment, like pollutions or breathing oxygen on a daily basis. So we have oxygen reactive species and we have nitrogen reactive species inside the body that basically damage the body. And that's how you age at a different speed. Everybody ages but at a different speed because of how much oxidative stress we had in our body. Glutathione actually neutralizes all of them on a daily basis without you even knowing it, right? And so the body keeps it in check all the time. Every single day that you wake up, the body is neutralizing all the threats on a regular basis. And so that's one function that we have found out. The second function of glutathione, which is even more profound than the antioxidant benefits, is that it's a master conjugator, which is what they do is they conjugate with chemicals and heavy metals and basically detoxify out of your system, because you are constantly bombarded through your skin, through your mouth, through your nose, through your eyes. Every single thing is chemicals that you are putting on your body. You're eating foods. The foods, I mean, that's why the stomach is so acidic, because it destroys everything, but it cannot destroy heavy metals. And so you're going to absorb those heavy metals, and the body has to somehow get rid of it eventually. And if it does not, then it stays in your body for the rest of your life. It never goes,
Really?
it never leaves your body. And so there are forever chemicals that you're exposed to on a daily basis that are there forever inside your body. And so glutathione aids in cleaning up all these different chemicals, heavy metals outside your body, helps neutralizes the free radicals. It is by far the most important molecule that our body produces. And I would not be smart enough to understand that really fast, that if I can change the world with one thing, that would be glutathione. And it's not a vitamin. I don't consider glutathione as a vitamin. I consider them as a basic building block for human body.
So glutathione then, what it sounds like, it helps the body to then detoxify. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you mentioned these like forever chemicals and heavy metal toxins. Where exactly, for someone who this is all new, or they're like, or maybe I've heard a little bit about this, where are we ingesting or these chemicals, and why would they be available if it's in our skincare, for example, if we know that they're so bad for us?
So yes, and that is unfortunate that it's everywhere. Unfortunately, there's nobody's immune from that. Neither you not I are immune from it. So give you some examples. So as a pharmacist, I buy all kinds of chemicals to produce products. So when I buy raw materials, I get a certificate of analysis to tell me what's inside this chemical. And of course, it has, let's say, for example, if I'm buying glutathione, it will tell me that, okay, this product has 99.9% pure glutathione, and maybe 0.01% has this ingredients. And every chemicals that comes from the soil will have a tiny fraction amount of heavy metals in there, like maybe lead, which is 1 part per billion, right? Which is you can't even see it. It's just such a tiny amount, but that's tiny amounts over time, every day, for the rest of your life, accumulates, right? If you eat organic food from the soil is full of metals, right? The soil is full of metals. So you're going to get it, you're going to absorb it anyways, right? Through your food, even though you're eating very healthy diet. Then you look at your animal proteins. If you think that if you're eating a cow, right? And cow is supposed to be vegetarian, but guess what? The cow's eating the grass. The grass coming from the soil has metals in them. So the cows have metals. Now you end up eating their meat, and eventually you're going to get the metals from them as well. So it doesn't matter if you are a vegetarian or if you're carnivore, it doesn't really matter, right? Everybody has exposure to heavy metals all the time. And there's a study done in California. This was back in the early 90s. Chevron is the biggest oil producing company in California. And what they did a study was they took 1,000 plus cadavers and just did the biopsies and on all the tissues for every human being that was dead. They just took 1,000 samples and see what's in them. 100%. Every single person had toxic levels of heavy metals, organic chemicals, organic phosphates, all the chemicals that we have known that are bad for you. It's not like they're consuming it knowingly, but they're still getting it. What you do knowingly, which is even worse, is alcohol. Alcohol is a known toxin chemical. It's a solvent in the chemistry lab, and solvents are treated very dangerously. But in the real world, solvents like alcohol, we put some flavor to it. It's, oh my God, this is so tasty. Right? And so people do drink it all the time, and which is not something that we should be drinking as a society.
So with the glutathione then, do you think, well, I'm going to assume that the answer is yes, but do you think that glutathione then is better and more needed for the body than NAD, for example?
So, yes, it's not even a comparison. And the reason is because NAD job is an electron transfer system. What that means is that NAD to NADH, the two chemicals, they keep on back and forth flipping passing electrons from one person to another, and so on and so forth. I'll give you an example. In your house right now, you have, let's say you have 10 light fixtures. If you have 10 light fixtures in your house, how many switches do you need? Maybe one to
quite a few.
Maybe one for all 10
okay.
at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum, at the bare maximum, maybe 10. One for each light bulb. You have one switch. Would you need 12? No, right? It doesn't make sense.
No.
So first of all, the question is, did the switch produce electricity? No. The electricity was already produced someplace else. The switch is just a conduit to let it pass through so the electricity gets from the outside pole to the light bulb so the light bulb goes on, right? NADs are like light switches. They just transfer electrons from one place to another, and very efficiently. I'm not saying you don't need a switch, I'm not saying that you don't need a switch. What I'm saying is that you need a lot of it. We don't put, NAD is essential, but you can survive with less. And by for sure means if you have too much, it's not going to give you any extra benefit. So NAD to me is a great molecule. Your body regulates NAD very, very tightly. It's one of those tightest regulations in your human body, how much NAD you actually need, because body doesn't like to waste energy to produce chemicals that you have no use in the body for too long, right? And so NAD is one of those chemicals that is tightly regulated. So giving too much of it, you may see a benefit the first couple of times you use it, but after that, there's no extra benefit. So I'm not a big fan of it. I'm a fan of it, but not a huge fan of it yet.
That's good to know, and I appreciate the answer. Just, I'm asking various questions based on everything that I know, I teach, and clients come to me asking, what are my favorite supplements? And I'm personally someone who says, and I know that we have a similar viewpoint on this, of reduce your stress from the mind and from the body, and everything from the go mentality, which causes us not to sleep as well. We need to focus on more water, quality water, having more nutrient dense organic foods. And so then there becomes the question of, and I feel like people get so caught up on what supplements do I need? And I know that NAD is definitely having a moment and a lot of people talking about it. And I know that glutathione is also having a moment. So as you mentioned, glutathione then can help us reduce and I don't know, remove entirely, but reduce the free radicals. What else does glutathione do for on a health perspective?
So for the health perspective, what we had to look at it is that what are the number one causes of death in the world today? So if you think about it, let's look at top 10 causes of death in the world, which is 95% of the people that die because of these top 10 reasons. One of them in there is accidents. Take it out, right? Because there's no disease associated with accidents, right? So take that out. The other nine, every one of them, from heart disease to cancers to metabolic disorders to whatever you mentioned that part, every one of them is linked to oxidative stress. And it's not a mental stress, it's an oxidative stress. That means your body is getting damaged from over exposure to reactive oxygen species, reactive nitrogen species, and that's what the causes of this chain reaction inside your body that is causing damage that eventually leads to heart disease, cancers, diabetes, and so on and so forth. So glutathione is the only product produced in human body to deal with oxidative stress. Now, there's three ways to deal with oxidative stresses in life. There's only three ways. One is if you take exogenous products like vitamin C, vitamin E, CoQ10, things like that, that are known to be antioxidants. Like, if you look at antioxidants therapies, there's somebody selling something. Oh, this is great to boost your glutathione level. Oh, this is great as an antioxidant. It's like, oh, this has an ORAC value of thousands, or eat dark chocolate is the best thing that can happen to you as an antioxidant, right? I mean, there's tons and tons of things that are out there. All of them combined can only give you maybe 5% benefit to reduce oxidative stress in your body. Okay? Then the body does number two is the body produces enzymes like glutathione peroxidase, superoxide dismutase, which is SOD is very popular in the skincare industry as well. But that's an enzyme. So these enzymes are produced by humans to basically modulate or to activate multiple systems to basically quench all the free radicals. It's like you need a village to raise a baby, right? One parent is not enough. So the enzymes are basically creating a village, a lot of different systems to quench all these free radicals. Even with that, it is not 100%, right? 30-40% will get it best. And so by far, the bulk of the work is done by the third thing, which is glutathione. And the body only produces one peptide, one molecule, to deal with all the major functions in our body, which is to quench all these free radicals. So if you take those three things and enhance it somehow, there is a chance of reducing oxidative stress down to almost zero. And just to prove it to myself, I had to do a clinical trial. Of course, I did a human trial at a university over here in California. The professors over there said, you know what, Nayan, I love your passion, and you're so passionate about this glutathione. I'm going to put it to test right away. So he just said, I'll do it for 3 days and see what happens. So in 3 days, what they said, they gave the patients, the customers, the clients, 4 sprays in the morning, 4 in the evening, just to see what the heck happens, right? And within 4 hours after the first application, they saw the MDA levels, which is the melanaldehyde levels, dropped significantly. And that's the MDA are the levels for oxidative stress in your body. When MDA level starts rising, that means oxidative stress is also rising in your body. It's just one of the testing mechanisms. There are multiples out there. And the doctor goes, wait a second, I only gave 1 dose, and I'm monitoring the drop within 4 hours, right? And so being glutathione, being so powerful, we are able to demonstrate in human subjects that we are actually able to reduce oxidative stress down. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because you reduce oxidative stress down does not mean that you're going to heal your body. And for that, I have another analogy, because I like to think from visual. I'm a very visual person, so I have to give some stories so people to understand that part. So let's say you're in your apartment in London, right? Sitting on a desk. Now, I know it's cold, so you don't dare to open a window. But let's say you have a you have a desk by the window, and there's a stack of paper by your desk, and you just see that, oh my God, there's a nice cool breeze coming. Let me just open the window a little bit, right? So you open the window a little bit. The cool breeze comes out. It makes you feel good, but all of a sudden, the sudden wind comes over and knocks all the paper in your room. What do you do first? Do you close the window or go pick up the paper? You'll close the window first, because without the window being closed, the paper keeps on flying, right? I mean, that's intuitively that's what you would do. Closing the window is like you stopping the oxidative stress down. Okay? So closing the window is the same thing as you taking glutathione and stopping the further damage to the body. But here's the thing. Because you
Interesting.
close the window, is the paper going to pick up by itself and come back on your desk?
No.
No. You still have to do that work. And so I want people to realize that just by taking glutathione, you can close the window. As an analogy, you can close the window, you can stop the further damage that's happened to your body. But now you to allow your body to start healing itself and become better again. And it can only happen to back to 100% if we have no diseases. So the early on you start on this wellness journey, and hopefully you're all disease free, right? There's a very good potential that you can stay disease free for the rest of your life. I mean, that to me is a profound statement which nobody would ever dare to make, because that is something that is unheard of in this modern day society.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting. Great analogy. And I'm with you on that. I love using analogies because if you think about it, we as humans, we learned language because people back in the day, a long, long time ago, drew, pictures on walls, and that's how we communicated. So the more analogies, the better, especially as we're talking about obviously very scientific things such as the peptides and all, just everything you're sharing is very fascinating. So in terms of then not only glutathione, but we know that different supplements so very quick kind of side question. Glutathione, you said, is a peptide, correct?
It's a tripeptide, yes. 3 amino acids.
A tri. So would you consider it then a supplement? Is it a vitamin, or is it just glutathione?
So glutathione is considered as a food supplement in the United States, right? So it's a food supplement over here. Um, Chemically, it's a tripeptide, so you cannot deny that one.
Okay.
Uh, it's how it's used, right? If you use in a topical form, it's a skincare routine, right? And it's safe as a skincare product as well. So it depends on the application, and you have different scenarios, right? If it's injected, it's a drug. But to me, glutathione is considered as something. It's hard to say, right? Because when you say a supplement, uh, in my mind, a supplement is something that your body is using to enhance its own effects. But then, a body does not produce broccoli. A body does not produce vitamin C, right? But
Right.
so in that sense, a supplement is are products that are actually used by humans to enhance its own body by extracting what it needs from them and using that as something that body uses. Versus glutathione to me is is replacing what your body already produces naturally, and I'm just giving it to you. I said, hey, use it up. And I'm not going to give you too much of it. I'm just going to give you enough. So you're still going to keep on producing what you are producing. This is just something extra, right? So something extra that you can use
Got
it
it.
right away, versus you keep on doing what you're doing, keep on producing what you're producing. But this is just a little bit of extra cash in your wallet, so that way you can use it up, just in case if you want to go drink tonight with your friends, then you have some extra cash in your wallet to kind of nullify all the alcohol effects. And so that's the way I look at glutathione. It's different than any vitamins or any supplements, because uh, vitamin supplements are there to enhance some effects in your body, but it's not replacing anything inside your body.
Got it. And so the reason that I had asked that, and you touched on a few things, which is where I wanted to go with this. You mentioned that we can use it, on the skin. I've had IV drips where you get a glutathione boost. I know that they also have actual glutathione like bags that you can do. Tell me more then about the different methods of, or I guess the different methods of ingesting or taking it. What is the most effective and what is the least effective?
All right. So before I answer that question, I just want to preface that is because as a compounding pharmacist, I have made literally every single dosage form of glutathione in my lab. I used to be the largest supplier for intravenous form of glutathione for 20 years. I've made liposome technology products. I've made inhaled solutions for my athletes, super athletes that want to inhale glutathione for lung capacity. I made suppositories of glutathione because somebody wants to chelate. So I've made suppositories of glutathione. I've made nasal sprays of glutathione. I made eye drops of glutathione.
Wow.
I mean, when you see glutathione can do solve all these problems, people are coming to me and say, "Hey, can you make me all kinds of different products?" Right? I have not made ear drops, but maybe nobody's asked me about that one yet. But I've made everything else besides that one for glutathione, and I'll tell you, in one simple answer, none of the dosage form, none, not even one, actually gets absorbed into the human body. And so that's where my research started, because all these different modalities, what do you mean? I said, I give you eye drops, it's not going in my eyes? I said, no. It still works. When you do IV glutathione, it still works, right? If it's working, but you're telling me it's not absorbing, then what's going on over here, right? People ask you all kinds of questions, especially doctors when they first hear that story. He goes, "Oh, wait a second. Now you've piqued my interest. Now tell me more about it." It's right now. So what happens is that whenever your body takes peptides, like glutathione is a tripeptide, the body has no receptors to actually accept it from outside sources. That means the body will break it down into three amino acids: the glutamine, glycine, and cysteine. The cysteine gets reabsorbed into the bloodstream, and that is actually being used to produce glutathione again. It's like you bought a furniture, for example, and the truck comes and delivers the furniture on your doorstep, but your door is only yay big, and the furniture doesn't go in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to break it apart, put it into small pieces, take it to the bedroom, and reassemble everything again. I mean,
So my question then is with glutathione, and I understand everything you're saying. Is someone better off taking it as an actual supplement like a pill, or getting a drip, or as you mentioned, taking it as a suppository? Didn't even know that's available, or injecting it in some way? Like, what will make it the most effective for someone to absorb in order to then see the benefits?
exactly. And so that's what my research started as, to say, if this thing is not working for me, how else can I get into the body? And so what I found out was the glutathione is produced intracellularly by the mitochondria. And so to get to the intracellular levels to where it needs to be deposited was the biggest challenge of the world, right? How do I get over there? Because you have a skin barrier, then you have a cell barrier. The cell barrier is so intact that you cannot get anything through that barrier. And you cannot inject inside your cells, you cannot laser treatment, or you cannot do some ultrasounds to push through things in there. I mean, there's a lot of things that you cannot do to get to break the cell barrier. And so what I had to find out as a chemistry major, what things that the cell takes it from outside, and can I somehow put it inside that molecule and transport it? So, for example, if you eat M&Ms and inside the M&Ms there's a peanut inside, you didn't eat M&Ms for the peanuts. You eat M&Ms for the chocolate, right? The peanut is something. Oh my God! It's just like, come on, get this out of here, right? What I found out was the cells will accept sugar molecules, polysaccharides. And so my job was to use a polysaccharide molecule and use to infuse inside with glutathione. When I do that part, the outer shelf is sugar. It's a polysaccharide. The cell goes, I'll take it. When he takes it, inside is glutathione. And when I do that part, the way I designed this whole thing together, it was actually getting into your cells like this immediately. And so, unfortunately, it's a topical application route because even if I do it by the mouth, the sugar molecules inside the mouth, it just breaks it apart and even prematurely breaks it apart before it gets inside your cells. And so I had to use a skin as a route to deliver because the skin, under the skin, there's no enzymes to break this apart at all. And so IVs doesn't work, oral capsule doesn't work. None of this actually improves the levels high enough for you for body to need. And that's why the technology that exists today is a topical application route to actually bypass all those layers and making sure the enzyme doesn't have a chance to break it apart. So that's what we have. We discovered this whole technology piece back in 2007. So this was a long, long time ago, but I never ever released the product to the public until 2020, 2021-ish. And the reason is because it's like, as soon as you think that, okay, I conquer this world and I'm delivering the glutathione to where it's supposed to be, I thought my job was done. But then I quickly realized that no, the job is not done yet. Now I had to figure out the literature. The literature has about 70,000 articles on glutathione that it can save the mankind, right? I said, okay, I'm going to put it to test myself. I'm going to figure out. I said, okay, does it help with this one? I said, the answer is yes. Okay, let me find out how fast I can get the results. So anything that's in the literature that talks about the glutathione has a potential benefit on solving the problem, I'm able to prove it now beyond reasonable doubt that I can get those results with the topical applications. And so that took me another 13 to 15 more years to figure those things out. And once I have everything, all my places in order, I had results were coming in good. I said, it's time to let the public know that we have this product now.
I love it. And so that product, and please correct me, it is Glutaryl? Is that how you say it?
Yes, so we have a wellness line and a skincare line. On the wellness side, the product's called Glutaryl. And again, please don't shoot me because if you tell a chemist to name a product, it's going to give a chemical name to it, right? And so that's the chemical name. Glutaryl is it's an enzyme that I use, and so I say I'm just going to name the product Glutaryl. You know, that's what it is. Sorry. But I became more original
No, and so
when I named the skincare product, because skincare, I said, what am I going to name the skincare? I just call it G. The G serum. I don't know.
no, it's great. And so Glutaryl, for example, it is, what do you do? Do you spray it on, do you spray it in your mouth? Do you spray it on your skin? What's the actual application for? Because now we've
Yes.
broken down how it affects us, helps with oxidative stress, and this seems to work. What's the application
So
of
the
it?
application is topical through your skin, right? So you can apply it to any non-hairy part of your body. Some of the guys have issues because they have hair almost everywhere. And so, like even myself, I'll shave my arms too, and so just to apply the glutathione here on a daily basis. It just makes my life so much easier. But any non-hairy part of the body, you spray it on. It's a 4 sprays, and initially when you start spraying them on, it's like water. It's very watery, and then as soon as you start rubbing it in slowly, basically you use a large surface area. When you rub it in, it starts becoming very, very thick and sticky, extremely sticky. It's a sugar molecule. It gets very, very sticky. You just have to keep on going at it, just going at it. And there'll be a time when it comes where you won't be able to move your arm, right? And by the way, you're not done yet. You have to keep on going at it. And if it bothers you, you pat it down if you want to. And then gently rub and pat. Gently rub and pat. And it'll be like magic. 30 seconds later, the whole thing is completely dry. Bone dry, silky smooth arms where you apply it. And that means all the glutathione has entered the body and it's now off your skin now.
And you have two different, you have the Glutaryl and the Glutaryl Plus. What is, if someone's, which I'll put everything in the show notes, like, and I'm asking this selfishly because I'd like to try it. So I'm like, why would I get the Glutaryl versus the Glutaryl Plus? Clearly there's a difference in price, but also I'm sure in benefits.
So the only difference between those two is the concentration of glutathione inside. All the studies that I've done for 15 plus years was on Glutaryl. The plus is just a stronger version of glutathione. Now, do I need more? That's the question I get asked all the time. And the short answer is no, you don't. You just don't, right? So why am I making this product? As you can imagine, I have a lot of physicians that I work with. They want to pay people with some higher concentration. They don't want to apply apply so much of it. So they're begging for me to create a stronger version of that one. And so we made this product available like a year later after we released the Glutaryl to the public. More is not better because more can actually be too much of glutathione. And too much of glutathione in your body is actually not good for you. Because your body has to be in a constant stress all the time. If there's no stress in your body, the body basically becomes extremely lazy, right? All the defenses goes down, and it's not a good idea. So that's why you exercise every single day. You wake up every day. You stretch every single day. You do every single thing to induce a little bit amount of stress every day. Because a little stress, your body becomes stronger and stronger at any age. Even if you're 100 years old, right? If you exercise, your body will get stronger, right? So a little stress is actually good for you. But with glutathione, you can actually nullify all the stress. And that's actually not good for you. So plus is not something that everybody should be using it. But there are a lot of people who have severe metabolic disorders. You have diseases that are linked to oxidative stress, that they have gone too far. Or you have the habit of having a glass of wine or a glass of drink or going to the pub on a regular basis. And of course, alcohol is a known toxin that needs glutathione. For those people, yes, the plus may be an option. I have a lot of my athletes using the plus because they only use it once a day. They use it post-workout. They work out so hard that they want to quench all the free radicals after the workout. And so they'll use it once a day only, and they'll buy the plus for that purpose. So there are some applications for those things. Recently, we also published an article in the Journal of Antioxidant on the treatment for acute long COVID, diabetes, myocardial infarctions, Alzheimer's, a potential role for glutathione. I mean, all these diseases has nothing in common other than they're all linked to oxidative stress, right? And so all this, I mean, these are major diseases that you'll never be able to reverse them. But their needs are so high for glutathione that sometimes the plus version is a good product for them to bring the free radicals as fast as possible. Now, if anybody wants to use the plus, I strongly suggest to use the regular glutathione first. Make sure the body gets acclimated to it. And then the month number 2, you can try the plus, and you can tolerate that part, go for it. If you cannot, then go back to regular, because regular is probably going to get you all the results you're looking for.
All right. Well, you've convinced me, especially after my audience knows I do drink, and I just had a fabulous 2-night stay at a hotel, and I have my routine, and I order my burger, and I have red wine and sometimes champagne. So I will be getting myself some of your product. You've convinced me. Now, in your book, The Glutathione Revolution, you talk about some little known ways to slow down aging. Could you share some surprising ways that people might not know or expect?
All right. So to share that, I'll share a story about my dad. Because my dad, at the age of 78, he had infarction, so he had a stent put in his arteries. He had type 2 diabetes. He had arthritis for almost 27, 30 years, diabetes for over 40 years. And so at this age of 78, when he get diagnosed with an infarction, the chance of him surviving or even thriving is minimal, right? Surviving, yes, I can make him survive, but living a life, a fully enjoyable life, is not in his wheelhouse anymore. About the same time, we discovered the glutathione, so he was patient number 1 for me. Okay, and I'll show you all the things we did, so that way, it's my longevity protocol is what it's my longevity hack is what I call everybody. So we started giving him glutathione. About 3 or 4 years later, I didn't pay attention, right? Dad, come on, it's okay. We didn't pay attention. By the 4th year, I started noticing very vividly. Saying, "Oh my God, Dad!" I said, "You walk 6 miles a day?" I had no idea. I said, "Yeah, I've been doing that for a couple of years now." I said, "But you have arthritis?" I said, "Yeah, I have no pain." I said, "Okay." And then I looked at his blood test. He had no diabetes. His diabetes was under control and completely gone. And he was taking a couple of medications, and now he's down to 1 medication only. I said, wait a second, what happened? I said, well, how was your blood pressure? Now, how your shortness of breath? And all, because he had an MI, right? It's a heart attack. So I know I was talking about it. I said, I got nothing. I said, wait a second, what's going on over here? And then we started putting 2 and 2 together. The glutathione was actually helping him about gaining his life back. Long story short, for the next 8 years, right, he lived a fulfilled life. In fact, at the age of 84, he did double knee replacement because he said that, hey, I want to travel the world, and I cannot travel the world with this bad knees. I've been arthritis for 30 plus years now, right? I said, with this bad knees, I cannot travel the world, so I want to replace both the knees. And the doctor goes, you can only do 1 at a time. I said, nope, I want to do both because I don't have the life to live for do 1 and then 2 years later another one. I said, no, God, no. I want to do both at the same time. And the doctor, against all wishes, he said, okay, fine, I'll do it for you, but you won't be able to travel for at least 6 months. Not a chance. 3.5 months later, he was in India traveling, right? Walking, enjoying life. He has a house on the 2nd story, so he goes a staircase up and down every single day. My mom passed away 25 years ago, so I was single. But at the age of 85, 87, 86, he started traveling the world on his own with a bag. Boom, gone. And then fast forward to this year, at the age of 89, he was in India this year again. He went to Africa, went to India again. He ate some street food, got diarrhea, got lightheadedness, boom, fell down, broke his skull, and he passed away within a day. But half an hour before he passed away, 30 minutes before he passed away, he was FaceTiming all of us, all the family. I said, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I'm coherent. I'm talking. I've not lost my memory yet. I know who I am. He was just joking, but he was talking. It's like, oh my God. Even today's date, I know he was gone about 9 months ago. I don't feel like we lost him yet because we never have him suffer even one day, even 1 hour. Because after he FaceTime us, he took some selfie pictures just to see what am I looking like right now. He just took some pictures of himself, and then he put the phone in, went to sleep, and never woke up, right? And so I look at his life. I said, "Oh my God, a guy at the age of 78 had no chance of flourishing in his life with all these diseases, and now with one product, he was able to do all these things." It's not about the product. It's about what he was allowed to do, what he loved to do, which is get up in the morning every day and do yogas, right? And it's about breathing. Deep breathing is what he is to do every single day. The second big life hack, which I never understood at that time, this was about 15 years ago, which I very vividly remember today, is that daily gratitudes. He appreciates life on a daily basis. You live your fullest when you appreciate every single thing that comes to you. And he says that, hey, I'm sending this beam of ray to all my family members. Anybody that I can think of it, I'm sending this positive vibes to you guys so that you can also benefit from what I'm benefiting today. It says that this product has actually changed my life, and I want to make sure that I'm using it and appreciating every single thing and sending the positive vibes to the world again. So that's his life hack, right? Also, I got him a hyperbaric chamber. I got him a chamber so they can get inside the chamber on a daily basis, which he goes, "No, I'm not going to do it." I said, "Dad, this is amazing. Just to let you know, I'll go in the chamber with you if you want me to," right? So I didn't go in the chamber with him, but I did put him in the chamber a few times. And he was liking that part too. And so that's another thing that I recommend to. I do it myself on a daily basis, and I tell my people too that, hey, that's one thing that has. It's like basically forcing oxygen to the rest of your body, and you're not doing any medicine. You're just forcing the air through the body, and so by doing so, it's just enhancing the body's capacity. Other than that, it's just mindfulness on a daily basis is what I do. So this is what my dad does. This is what I do. And now learning from him, I'm embracing all his techniques, all the things that he did into my life. And so this is my thing to everybody else. If you want to do what my dad did, which the world knows how joyful person he was, is that daily gratitudes, breathing, deep breathing every single day, eating good fruits and vegetables. He was vegetarian, but doesn't have to be. But eating clean food, vegetables, packed of phytonutrients. He used to do his own farming. At the age of 89, he was still farming. In the backyard, he had the whole garden full of all kinds of fruits and vegetables. Drink clean water. He never drank alcohol in his life until the age of 85. He had the first drink at the age of 85. And after that, he drank for maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 times a year, like a glass or 2 glasses of wine with us. And that was it for the last 3 years of his life. But other than that, he lived a very clean life. So life needs to be simple. Life needs to be free of tensions. Life needs to be joyful, enjoyable. The tools that we have are just tools, guys. They're just tools. Don't make it part of your life. They're just tools, right? And if they help you, good. Use a tool. If it doesn't help you, it's just a tool. Use something else. So, anyways, that's what I have.
I love it. And sorry to hear about his passing, but it sounds like he lived a wonderful rest of his life and had a great impact on you and everyone else. So Dr. Nayan, thank you so much. This has been absolutely fascinating. I'm converted. I will absolutely be trying your product. I'll let you know, give you some feedback. And for everyone listening, I will put all of Nayan's details in the show notes to learn more. And until next week, here's to a sharper life.